Hi there, I'm Lee Brainerd. Welcome to Soothkeep. This evening I'd like to encourage you with another Rapture Nugget. One of my favorite passages on the future blessings the saints shall enjoy after the rapture of the church is Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. And God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. Now, I want to focus on the line, there shall be no more pain. But first of all, I want to bring to your attention the fact that tears, crying, and pain are mentioned separately. Now, why are all three things mentioned? Well, they're all mentioned because human beings are very complex creatures and we have complex responses to emotional stimuli. Some people can shed tears without having any internal crying response. And some people have an internal crying response, feeling that deep gnawing pain without shedding any tears at all. And some have great physical pain without crying or shedding tears. And some can cry and shed tears without feeling any physical pain. So no matter what your emotional hardwiring is, all such negative responses are going to be permanently removed from the human experience when we step into the glories of eternity. Now, in what ways will there be no more pain? Folks, you need to understand that this is deeper than merely being the absence of feeling physical pain. This has more to do with no injuries and no maladies that would lead to physical pain than simply the lack of physical pain. So in other words, there's not going to be any automobile and motorcycle crashes. There's not going to be thumbs smashed with hammers. There's not going to be knives slipping. There's not going to be any stubbing toes. There's not going to be any of burning self on hot stoves or pans. There's not going to be slivers. There's not going to be torn fingernails. There's not going to be crud in the eye. There's not going to be frostbite or house fires. There's not going to be stomach flus or head colds or cancer or arthritis or digestive problems. There's not going to be kidney, liver, or heart issues. There's not going to be painful brain swelling. But this is also going to be in a situation where our lack of emotional pain is going to be much deeper than merely the lack of the sensation of emotional pain. We're going to be in situations that can't possibly cause emotional pain. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had to choose between physical pain and emotional pain, I would choose physical pain all day long. But at any rate, we're going to be in a situation where there is no situations happening, no events happening that can cause emotional pain. There's not going to be any more broken relationships or betrayal or emotional abuse. There's not going to be broken homes and broken hopes and broken dreams. There's not going to be anybody feeling like they're unjustly overlooked, and nobody's going to be experiencing what they've come to call quiet firing. There's not going to be any favoritism that's based on nepotism or good old boys clubs or political correctness. There's going to be no more lost homes, lost jobs, and lost opportunities. There's not going to be any more lost loved ones and lost friends. No more pain-filled holidays and pain-filled anniversaries and pain-filled birthdays. We're simply going to be in an environment where there's no more emotional pain-causing situations, period, ever. We're going to be in an environment that's always amazing, that will always testify to the amazing God and His amazing provision. Think of your house in eternity. You'll have a house that's permanent. It can't be lost or taken away from you. It can't burn down. It can't be knocked down. It can't be flooded. It's permanent. It's unchanging. It never needs fixing. Never needs repair. You'll never have house pain. Think of your home in eternity. It'll always be filled with friends and family, and laughter and good times and good conversations. There'll never be yelling, never be anger, never be fighting, never be misunderstanding, never be door slamming. There'll be no home pain. How about work? Work in eternity will always be fulfilling, and you'll never be overloaded. There'll be no unrealistic expectations placed on you. There'll be no hectic pace. Your work will always be your play. You will always be doing what you really love to do. So you'll have no work pain. How about holidays? You will have frequent, enjoyable, refreshing, fulfilling vacations or holidays or trips or adventures or whatever it is you like to do with your time. You will be fulfilled. When it comes to worship, you will always have the same mind and the same heart with all of your fellow worshipers. You will never feel the pain of being around churches or believers that are off base or off track or going the wrong way. You'll never feel the pain at being at odds with your fellow Christians or with the church or with not fitting in. And when it comes to your hobbies, you'll be fulfilled there too. Because your hobbies and your work are going to be very hard to distinguish, maybe impossible. And your hobbies are not going to die because you have lack of time and opportunity and money. Now, I do want to qualify that no more pain does not mean no more sensation. We are not going to be rewired so that we're like Spock or Data on Star Trek and we don't really have human emotions. But there are going to be two big changes which are going to change our emotional responses. First of all, we're going to be rewired, according to 1 Corinthians 15, where we go from having a soulish body to having a spiritual body. In other words, where we go from having a body whose immediate connection is to the soul to a body whose immediate connection is to the spirit. And this means that our reason is going to trump our feelings and emotions, and we will never have irrational emotions. And secondly, we're going to live in a utopia, where this is an infinite, eternal utopia with infinite time, infinite resources, infinite energy, and infinite opportunity. You will never face disappointing circumstances. So if you're rewired so that your spirit trumps your soul, so that your reason and purposes trump your emotions, and you're in a situation where there's never any circumstances that could cause emotional pain, then you will never again feel emotional pain. Now, you're going to see a difference and experience an emotional difference between things that are good and things that are great and things that are fantastic and things that are super amazing and things that are way off the chart. But you will never have a sensation or a feeling of this is bad or this is awful or this is almost death warmed over. That will never happen. Now, one more thought I'd like to bring out on pain. You might think I'm nuts, but I think people who enjoy sports are going to probably agree with me. At least most of them. There is such a thing as good pain. Think about the sensations of contact sports. Why play football or hockey if you don't feel a good hit once in a while? Whether it's a hit that you gave or a hit that you took. If you don't get a good Charlie horse once in a while or a bruise once in a while, what's the purpose of playing the game? And in this situation, limping off the field is actually a good thing as long as you don't miss the rest of the game or miss the rest of the season. is as long as a short soak in a jacuzzi of living water is going to fix the problem, then that pain is a good thing and not a bad thing. It's part of the game. It's part of the satisfaction of the game. For me, at least at any rate, and maybe for a lot of others, this kind of pain is not negative pain. This is pleasant pain. But if this doesn't register with you, that's okay. How about the sensations of winter sports, like ice fishing and mountain climbing? I want to feel the nip of the cold on my cheeks and my fingers, but I don't want my fingers to be stiff with cold. I want to have that sensation of gripping a cup of hot chocolate or hot cocoa in a coffee mug and have it warm my fingers. I want to feel that. And I want the thought of a cup of hot coffee or a cup of hot chocolate to be endearing, very endearing to my heart, very appealing on a chilly winter day. I also want the pleasure of climbing into a nice wool sweater and feeling warm and snug. So I want strong sensations of cold, but not painful sensations of cold. Now, more examples could be given, but I think I've given enough ideas here to prime the pump for everyone with an active imagination. Folks, in conclusion, we are going to a future with no pain, zero pain, nada, never again, at all, not one iota. And not only will there be no sensations of pain, no sensations of pain that we feel, at least things that we feel that are pain to us, but there'll be nothing in the environment that could possibly cause what we would regard as felt pain. Now I can imagine sitting on my stone-tiled patio in a rugged mountain valley in eternity, drinking coffee with my friends and scarfing exotic chocolate and watching the mammoths wandering up the mountain valley to their summer pastures and watching the pterodactyls soaring on the mountain thermals and thinking with amazement, wow, it has been 10,000 years since any one of us felt any kind of pain or disappointment or sorrow. And right there, the guitars and the banjos and the bass fiddles and the harmonicas and any other kind of instrument are going to break out, and we're going to start worshiping the Lord. Folks, keep your eyes on the coming glory, where there's going to be no more pain or tears. Eyes wide open, brain engaged, heart on fire. We'll see you next time.